Welcome back to episode 184 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. Memorial Day. How about it? Another week of baseball in the books. Had to kind of scrap the bottom of the barrel to find some topics, but
Yeah.
we always are able to find some, and if not, we can just talk about our teams for 50 minutes. But we do have things that we want to discuss today. But before we get into everything, Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Definitely doing good. There's again, I mean, you kind of touched on it perfectly. We really had to scrape the bottom of the barrel and find some topics here, but we found some, and we'll get into our teams and things. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm doing good. Today I had off. I had off of work. I didn't have to go in, but let's let's take a moment to realize why that is, why we can have this Monday off, and just today is a day of remembrance of all the fallen soldiers who lost their lives defending this country that we all call home. um Again, like, that's a sacrifice that none of us really, unless we're in it, which neither one of us are. We don't know what that's like, and that's something you have to have gratitude for. That's something that we don't have to realize. So today's a day of remembrance, a day of gratitude towards all those men and women who have sadly lost their lives defending this country that we live in. Gone but not forgotten. We say it all the time, and I think sometimes it's easy to go through the ebbs and flows of daily life, and forget that. So it's always good that this day comes up on the calendar, and we get to have a whole day for them to, just to remember the sacrifice that they gave. So thank you. We are forever in your debt, forever in your gratitude. So if you have a veteran in your life, please thank them. And if you had a veteran who had sadly lost their lives in your life, we appreciate all their sacrifice and their service to this country. But how are you doing, Melo?
I'm doing well. That was very, very well said. I echo everything you say. It's a lot more than just a day off on a Monday. It's
Yes.
remembrance of, again, what you just said, and it was very well said. I'm doing well. Uh, you have the day off today. I've been off for almost 2 weeks. Uh,
Hmm.
this was the first. This was the first time the Dodgers were gone for like a long period of time during this season. So I'm not gonna go through the whole schedule timing because I did that last week. But just to put it to you this way, I've pretty much been ready to go back to work since I want to say last Tuesday.
I
So
get it, man.
I am itching and clawing to get out of here and get to the ballpark as the Dodgers open up a 6 game homestand beginning tonight against the Colorado Rockies. And then we got the Philadelphia Phillies coming into town. I'm sure Orion Kirkland will get a big standing ovation when he comes out to the mound for the first time this weekend. Very excited for that. But um, doing well, celebrated a birthday. Thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday. And if you didn't, I know who you are. And I have you. I already have you in my notes, so it's all right. It's okay. I don't forget that stuff. So, but thankfully, most of the people that I expected to hear from on Saturday, I did hear from. So thank you very much. And had a good time at Cosm first time. That place is crazy, man. It feels like you were there. It felt like I was in the land Saturday night in Cleveland, but I was not. I was in Inglewood. But overall, doing extremely well. The Dodgers had pretty much a perfect homestand. I mean, a perfect road trip. They went 7-2 in those 9 games. They swept the Angels, beat them to a pulp. They took 2 out of 3 from San Diego, and if it wasn't for the Dodgers giving Yoshinobu Yamamoto no run support, they would have swept them. They lost that first game 1-0. And then after losing Friday night in Milwaukee, they come back and win the next 2 nights. So overall, very pleased with the recent road trip, and this team's coming home playing some good ball, and hopefully they can continue that against the Colorado Rockies, who are not that good. I know they lost 2 out of 3, or no, I think they split, or I don't remember what happened, but they did play the Rockies earlier in this season, And then we got a Phillies team that has been playing well over the last couple weeks. So see if the Dodgers can continue to play some ball. But overall, very happy. The Dodgers playing well, even though they're losing guys left and right. But anyways, we'll get it. I'll touch more on that when we get to the end of my Dodgers. But we're gonna start off here with Jose Berrios going on the needing Tommy John surgery, so he will not be back until 2027, and that sucks. And not only was he the only injury for the Blue Jays over the weekend, or somebody that's gonna miss extended period of time. Dylan Cease also got hurt yesterday, and so did Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I want to say it was in the same inning as well. So disastrous day yesterday for the Toronto Blue Jays, who continue to get hit with injuries. And I posted a couple weeks ago of the Blue Jays had the same record, I think, after 40 something games. I think the record was 23-27. That was the record they had last year at one point, and they had it the exact same time this season. But there was a lot of Blue Jays who were, now listen, a lot of them were optimistic, like, all right, cool, like the Blue Jays are going to turn this thing around. But then you had a couple Blue Jays in there that were like, Blue Jays fans in there that were saying, well, wait a minute, like, all these guys were not hurt last year. They were just underperforming and not playing well yet. This year, it's extremely different. Barger's hurt. Obviously, Alejandro Kirk has been out since pretty much the beginning of the season. And now we don't know about the two biggest players in Dylan Cease and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So I know the topic is Jose Berrios needing Tommy John surgery, but just as a whole, the Blue Jays, man, like it's getting to a point here where, and always Memorial Day for me is always like the first chance of like, all right, let's see where everybody's at. You've had enough. You've had enough of a sample size, so so we'll see what happens with the Blue Jays, but hopefully they can turn it around quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jose Barrios is the topic, but you kind of hit it on the head. The Jays are going through it, man. They really are. And looking at the standings right now, you still have Tampa Bay in first place. The Yankees are in second, and then you have the Toronto Blue Jays in third place, 10.5 games out, sitting at 25-28 on the year. Now, if any of these big news comes out about Dylan Cease or Vladdy, oh man, that's a huge blow, more than the Blue Jays already have. Now we've been talking about the Jays quite some time this season because now number one, they came off on a rough start. Number two, these injuries just keep piling up. And Jose Barrios, he hasn't been around for a little bit, given the fact that he's been dealing with these injuries. But now he's going to be out 12 to 16 months, dude. This is bad, because to a pitching staff that, yes, Dylan Cease and Kevin Gausman and Trey Savage are top tier. Gets a little shaky after that. And listen, a lot of guys go to a lot of teams go to a 3-man rotation, 4-man rotation in the postseason. We talked about it a few weeks. Pitching is not what it used to be, and you can't expect Dylan Cease, Kevin Gausman, and Trey Savage to go out there and give you eight innings a start, 6 innings a start, 7 innings a start. That's not a thing anymore, man. So pitching wins championships. We know this, and Jose Barrios, he's a big blow, but grand scheme of things here, looking at the Blue Jays as a whole, it's tough. I mean, you kind of already touched on it. Addison Barger has been on the IL. Um, Kirk has been on the shelf ever since the beginning of the year, and now you're adding a potential, adding Vlad and Dylan Cease to it. I Obviously we don't know that yet, but once it does, and once this news comes out, we'll have a better gauge of where the Blue Jays are. But as of now, man, it doesn't look good. And 24, I'm sorry, 25-28 could be worse, right? It could be, but you have the red hot Rays who are playing fantastic baseball. So if any, I mean, even my Yankees are going to have trouble passing the Rays this year. So I think it's a wild card situation here, and I think you're going to just have to stay afloat until these guys get back. But all baseball fans are holding their breaths, and not just Blue Jays fans. All baseball fans do not want to see Cease or Vladdy hurt. We want to see them playing every single day because that makes the Blue Jays better. In turn, makes baseball better. So hoping for the best for the Blue Jays here, but it doesn't look good, man.
No, it doesn't. And that would be the one thing I would lean my hat on if I was a Blue Jays fan. If we could just stay afloat here while all of
Hmm.
these guys are hurt, if they can get them all back in time, maybe all of them by like July, second half of the season, then maybe you can go on a run and maybe sneak in and make some noise. But
And also too, man, this is the American League we're talking about. This is not the National League. The American League is much easier this year. The door's open. Just play consistent baseball until you get these guys back, and then guess what? You might be able to make a run like Melo said. So sorry to cut you off there,
no, you're
but
good.
it's the American League, man. It's the American League. It's open for business, and I could see a world where three teams are out of the AL East this year. I could see it. I really could, and it's just a matter of who wants it more. You know, is the Blue Jays going to be there in the end, or is Boston going to start playing better? Orioles. I mean, and just by the look of the other standings, man, I mean, 25 and 28 for the Blue Jays. If they were in the American League West, they would be in second place right now, only a game and a half behind of the Athletics. So, listen, you're not playing terrible ball right now, but you got to play. You just got to coast. You just
Keep
got
your
to
head
keep it
above
going.
water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you mentioned it too. 85 wins is going to be enough to
Yep.
get into the postseason if you're an American League team, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Yeah.
Because,
Agreed.
like, yeah, you mentioned it. The AL East, the AL West eating, the AL West leading Athletics, 27 and 26. They're in first
Yeah.
place. So
Yep.
it's not going to take a lot to get in this year on the American League side. So if you're a Blue Jays fan, that's something to hang your hat on. But it just sucks, injuries, and yeah. Hopefully they can get their guys back, especially like you mentioned, Vladdy and Dylan Cease, because not only were those two big contracts that the Blue Jays gave out in recent years, but they're entertaining, especially Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Saw it in the postseason last year. Entertaining
Yep.
ball player, and I know he's had a slow start to begin this season, but this guy always has a thing for the big moment, and I thought he was going to hit a big home run in Yankee Stadium last week, but didn't happen. But yeah, hopefully the Blue Jays can get that stuff figured out in time, and maybe they can go on a run. All right, this one hits a little bit home for me. Chris Taylor officially announced his retirement from baseball the other night. It was kind of weird though, because I saw a tweet from one of the Dodger beat reporters, or who covers the Dodgers. Chris Taylor, like, it was posted like he's retiring. I think it was on the MLB.com account or something like that, and then all the tributes started coming in from different fans and stuff like that, and then the MLB account posted, and then there was a report Saturday that no, actually he's not retiring. He's coming back, but he's just gonna go on like the IL with an injury or something. And then yesterday he officially posted it himself, like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I know there's conflicting reports out there, but he's gonna retire. And I had made the video. I posted it on Saturday. I'm like, I don't want to take this down. I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah.
take this down. But Chris Taylor, man, like, it was one of those things where I saw the news and I was kind of taken aback. It's like, damn, man, like, Chris Taylor was a part of that very fun Dodgers 2017 team that unfortunately did not win the World Series that year. But outside of the championship winning teams, that's my favorite team ever. And Chris Taylor was one of the stars of that team. And he did it with such class, and he did it so quietly too. He was never one of the loud guys in the clubhouse. He was never one of the, most vocal guys on the team, but he just did there, put his head down, did his thing, and he delivered some big postseason moments for us, man. There was a point there for like 4 or 5 seasons. If you needed a big hit in a big spot, Chris Taylor was one of those guys you wanted. NLCS co-MVP in 2017 with Justin Turner, making a big catch against the Brewers in Game 7 of the League Championship Series in 2018 to save that game. Walk-off home runs against the Cardinals in the wild card game in 2021. Hitting a lead-off home run against the Astros to begin the World Series that year. That was insane. Um, Part of two championship teams, 2020 and 2024. It's crazy. Didn't have a great end. Wasn't pretty. He ended up getting let go, but his time in LA will never be forgotten. And I know a lot of Dodger fans feel that way. And listen, I said this in the video. He's not going to get his number retired at Dodger Stadium. He's not going to the Hall of Fame or anything like that. But he's going to go down as one of those memorable players from those, this run of the golden age of Dodger baseball. Chris Taylor had a huge part of this, and I hope that never gets forgotten. And, like I said, he's not going to get his number retired. He's not going to go to the Hall of Fame or anything. But the Dodgers have this thing where it's called the Legends of Dodger Baseball. You're not good enough. Those are for the players that, no disrespect, but you're not good enough to get your number in the Ring of Honor. Those are for the immortal guys like Tommy Lasorda, Sandy Koufax, Duke Snider, Jackie Robinson, guys like that. But the Legends of Dodger Baseball, that's like the next tier below, where they have like plaques of you, I think at top deck and behind in the back of Dodger Stadium. So it's plastered all over the building. But those are for guys that, again, are not good enough to get their number retired in the Ring of Honor, but they still had a huge impact on the franchise, and they get honored with that. And, guys like Dusty Baker, or Hershiser, Kurt Gibson, Mike Scioscia, guys like that, they've all gotten on that Legends of Dodger Baseball list for their contributions. And I believe Chris Taylor is going to get in there one day as well. Hopefully, now that he's officially retired, maybe not this season, but hopefully next year the Dodgers bring him back, honor him, because like I said, he was a huge part of this Dodger team and this golden age of Dodger baseball for a long period of time here. So I know the Dodgers will do the right thing. They always do. But once again, Chris Taylor, salute to you, my friend. Congrats on an amazing career, and never going to be forgotten in Dodgerland. Never. Had some big postseason moments for us, man. And all I can say is thank you.
Absolutely. That was well said. Yeah, I don't have as many ties as Melo does to Chris Taylor, but I will say he was always an entertaining player to watch. He was drafted in the fifth round of the 2012 MLB draft by the Seattle Mariners. He spent 2 years there before heading over to Los Angeles and spending the next 10 years with the Dodgers. Now it's very clear that he had a big impact on the Dodgers franchise. I mean, 16 WAR across those 10 years. He had a total of 108 homers, slash line of 250, 330, 431 with a 761 OPS. Yeah, it's numbers that aren't going to wow you, but it's the moments that Melo had mentioned that that's why you remember Chris Taylor. I still remember all the moments, watching Dodgers playoff games and stuff like that, and seeing Chris Taylor come up big for them. And, again, like he had no personal ties to me, but he was always a fun player to watch. And hey, enjoy retirement. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer, but what he is going to be is somebody who Dodger fans remember, especially Dodger fans in the last 10 years. You're going to remember Chris Taylor. So he always seemed to come up in big moments too for some odd reason, but he did. So, he's going to be remembered by Dodger fans everywhere. So happy retirement to him. I'm sure he gets to spend lots of time with his kids and his wife. Happy for him. And enjoy retirement, man.
One of the best trades of the Andrew Friedman era, without question. It's not top of the list like Mookie Betts in 2020, but it's right underneath there, man. He was traded in July of 2016, right before the deadline, in exchange for pitching prospect Zach Lee. And to my knowledge, I don't know what happened to Zach Lee. So Dodgers won that one, but one of the best trades of the Andrew Friedman era. And I lost my train of thought here. What was I going to say? But huge postseason player. That's the thing I'm always going to forget. And he was a fan favorite too. Like every Dodger fan was always rooting for him, and he was also very versatile too. I think he played pretty much every position at one point with the Dodgers except pitcher, catcher, and I want to say first base. Other than that, I think I remember seeing him at every other position. second base,
Ye-
shortstop, third base, left field, center field, right field. Pretty he did it all. The the utility guy, one of the original utility guys. The Dodgers
Yeah,
have a thing with getting some of those utility guys in here and having them make big impacts.
absolutely. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, he pretty much is utility. He's on Baseball Reference. He's listed as an outfielder, shortstop, and second baseman. But again, he's utility. I mean, Melo just said it. So yeah, definitely utility guy.
Absolutely. So, yeah, best of luck in retirement, and hopefully the Dodgers do the right thing and bring him back and honor him. I hope that they could bring him back. He signs a 1 day contract. Retire with the Dodgers. Come on, let's do it. You don't want your
Makes
last. You don't want your last moments of your baseball career with the Angels organization. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's do the right thing here. Let's not. Let's get that Angel stench off of you and let's put have you put back on this beautiful Dodgers cap on. But yeah. All right. Let's get to the latest trend that has been taking over Major League Baseball in the last, well, really the beginning months of this season. Tarps off. Kyle, let's do it right now. No, I'm just kidding.
sense.
Let's do it. No, so pretty much, if you haven't heard, you've been living under a rock. Tarps off is basically a bunch of guys take off their shirts and they wave them, and but it's not like they go to like this end section of the stadium, and then they just start doing it, and it's actually been like the good luck charm for the St. Louis Cardinals because I think they've won a ton of games. Like I think the first time those kids were there, sitting at the top section at Busch Stadium, I think they ended up winning the game or walking it off or something. And then the manager for the Cardinals actually told the media after the game, like, I'm buying tickets for those kids again. Then I think he actually brought them into the clubhouse too after. So this is becoming a phenomena all over Major League Baseball. But it's also turned into an opportunity for certain fans to display their frustration as the Angels have been home. The Angels were home this whole week, this previous week, and what started off as just as just as a joke, kind of going with some of the other teams and what they were doing, it turned into a pretty much voicing their displeasure towards Artie Moreno. There was chants of sell the team and you know F you Artie, stuff like that, and it has caught majorly. It's been a trend on Twitter that a lot of fans that have been noticing, and you even had Angel fans protesting outside the stadium before the game on Saturday. That's how much these people have impacted this stuff so much, which is crazy how quickly in a little time. But um, I think the Rockies have done it. I know the Cardinals have done it. The Angels have done it. And I'm trying to think of other teams that have done it as well. I know there's been other teams as well. I think the Tigers did it too a couple days ago. Something like that.
Mhm.
I don't remember, but it's sweeping the baseball landscape. And I like it. Something interesting. And for a team like the Angels, they're using it to display their displeasure towards their owner.
Yep, absolutely. I think it's fun, man. It's fun. Let the fans have fun. Let everybody else buy into it. It's baseball, right? America's pastime. Why not? Every few years we get something like this where it's like something big for a while and then it kind of dies off. But if the Cardinals are buying into it, I mean that's kind of where it started with St. Louis. If the Cardinals fans and the Cardinals organizations buying into it, what's it matter? Honestly, let them have fun. Let them do its thing. Now I'm going to turn over to the Angels for a second. I feel like Angel fans, whatever opportunity they get to express their displeasure for their owner, they're going to do it, and it makes sense. Like I don't understand why. Now, I don't know if people are surprised by this, but I'm going to give my two thoughts. It's not surprising. This is something that just listen, if you run a team like the Angels have been ran over the last decade or so, last decade, I don't know, 2 decades, ever since their glory days back in the early 2000s, this Angels team has been a freaking laughing stock. It's been a joke. I mean, we come on here every single week and we say the Angels do not deserve to be called the Los Angeles Angels. They deserve to be called the Anaheim Angels. They're now mostly because they're literally located in Anaheim. But let's
I'll
be
pull out the
honest here.
map again. Don't make me do it. I'll do it.
But let's be honest here. It's because you look at okay, I'm going to say this strictly because that's what they're called. You have two Los Angeles teams playing, right? One of them, I love that. One of them has been on an absolute tear, building a dynasty, building something that we've never seen in this sport, in sports in general, to be honest with you. Has captured 3 World Series in the last 6 years. And then you go over to the other Los Angeles team, and none of them have done anything except for give out shitty contracts and piss off their fans year in and year out.
But it's a
So what do
safe
you
environment, though, because according to Artem Moreno, that's the only thing the fans care about: cheap
and
tickets
listen,
and a safe environment.
don't get me wrong. I think every Major League Baseball stadium should be like that. You shouldn't have to worry about if your safety's in jeopardy. Like that's just normal. That's something that shouldn't have to be said. Like, yeah, I
You'd be
want cheap
surprised.
tickets. I want cheap. Listen, my favorite team plays in the Bronx, New York. I know.
Yeah, yeah. You told me
But
stories getting out of there.
absolutely. But if I'm going up to a Yankees game, I want cheap tickets and I want to walk out of there safe. And every single time, I've been a Yankees fan since I was a young kid, and every single time that I've gone up there, I've came back safe and I was fine. That shouldn't have to be expressed. That is something that is just normal. If you go to a Dodger game, you go to a Rays game, you go to a Phillies game, you go to a Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, no matter who it is, you want to
Savannah
walk out of there.
Bananas.
Yeah, I don't give a shit who it is. You want to walk out safe. Everybody knows that. That's not something that should be at the. I mean, yeah, I guess it is at the top of my priority list, but that's not something like I want my team to compete for championships. I want my teams winning. And like as much as I shit on the Yankees, hey, they set themselves up decently every year to do that. The Angels don't. So every single time that the Angels get an opportunity for this, I don't know why we're shocked about this. This is yet another thing in the headline that the Angels are in negatively, of course. I don't understand what is like a few years ago we had the discussions that Artie Moreno was thinking about selling the Angels and giving it to somebody else and we had those discussions and we were like, yeah, finally. Finally. Like let's do this. Let's make the Angels better for the sport of baseball. And yet now here we are. He didn't sell the team. A couple years after this, he refuses to change front office roles. And here we are, the Angel fans still pissed off at the ownership. So yeah, when this whole tarps off things comes into play and the Angels and their fans get an opportunity to get in on it, what do you expect happens? I mean, listen, the Angels again, I'm gonna do a little bit of you know, research here. I'm gonna look at the standings. Yeah, we talked about the AL West.
They
They're
suck.
20 and
I'll tell you right
34.
now.
Yeah, they're 20 and 34, 7.5 games back. Dude, the Astros, who we've been freaking shitting on all year, are 23 and 31. They're three games up on the Angels. And listen, there's no reason why this Angels team couldn't have been better. There's not. They have some young stars out there. We talked about Jose Soriano, Zach Neto,
Joe
Joe
Adell
Adell. Who was,
starting
he
to
he
figure
was
it
in the
out.
exactly. Mike Trout. At the beginning of the year, we talked about how Mike Trout was finally putting it together. Everything else,
He's actually
and
healthy
yet,
this year too.
correct. And the Angels somehow seem to fuck it up every year, year in and year out. I don't understand it. The talent on the team, they have the talent, man. They have. I don't care if you're an Angels hater. I don't care if you can't stand them. You have to admit that they have talent on that team, and they do. Logan O'Hoppy's another one to put in there. Nolan
Nolan
Shonowell,
Shonwell. Yep.
he's another one. This team has talent. And yet, the front office seems to fuck it up every year. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. So, yeah, what do you expect? If I was an Angels fan, man, I don't know if I could do what we do on a daily basis, truly, because I'd be more interested in the sport of baseball than I am my own team. And at that point, I'd be like, you know what? Screw this. I don't want to support this team anymore. I wouldn't be going to games. Dude, I don't know, man. It's basically to wrap this all up. Tarps off. I'm here for it. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. Let the guys have fun. Let the fans have fun. What's it matter? Milwaukee, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, the
And
no fun
the
police
Angels.
out in Milwaukee over the weekend.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what we'll transition to. I'll hand it back over to you. But with the Angels, don't be shocked if stuff like this continues. It's been going on for years. This ownership refuses to sell, and there's no changes that are getting this team to be better throughout the years. So what do you expect? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and the thing that makes it the most annoying for the Angel fans, Artie Moreno thinks Angel fans are stupid, and
Yep.
like I think that's the thing that really rubs them the wrong way.
Yep.
That's why that report came out of, yeah, like they only care about cheap tickets and safe environments and stuff like that. It's like Angel. I know I dump on the Angels all the time, but they're not stupid. Like their
Correct.
fans want to win,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that really rubs them the wrong way. Going over to the no fun police out in Milwaukee the other day. So again, the trend was making its way towards Milwaukee, and there was this video circling around social media, and we ended up posting it. It's this section at the top of American Family Field. It's not like they're directly behind the dugout or directly behind home plate making a scene. They're in the corner of the stadium,
Hmm.
and they're just waving. They have taken the shirts off and they're waving it around. They're not doing anything to hurt anybody or anyone. And then there's ushers that are coming by like, no, you can't do that. Stop that. They even took it a step further. The next day, they had security and ushers there blocking off that section unless you had a ticket. Like, come on, man. It's not baseball. For as much as we love this sport, sometimes they do things to shoot themselves in the foot. And this
Hmm.
is a long list of them. Now, this is with a specific team, but it reflects on baseball as a whole because you have
Yep.
fan bases of other teams that are looking at this video, you know, displaying their displeasure, um, how wrong it is, and it's like, why can't they have fun like that? And again, there was a lot of Brewers that called out the ownership, like, and the team. It's like, oh yeah, we can have fun, but you can only have it on our dime. So there's a lot
Yep.
of bickering back and forth with that, but who cares, man? Just let them have some fun. It's like, I don't know how long these tarps off thing goes for the first all these teams, but I'm sure they're not doing it the whole game. Like I'm sure it's
Correct.
like 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most. Just let them do it. Just let them have some fun.
No, absolutely. It kind of goes back into what we were saying, right? It's like let these guys have fun, let them do what they want, especially because like I look at it this way. If these fans and let's look at the fan base for a second. We're talking about the Milwaukee Brewers, right? These fans can get rowdy. And listen, these fans have a good fan base right now, given the fact that the Brewers are one of the best teams in baseball. They are playing at a high level. They are somehow figuring out to beat anybody. They just beat the Dodgers the other day in fashion that looked like the Brewers knew what they were doing.
And
So
they
good
and
for
they
them.
they went into Wrigley earlier last week and destroyed their arch rival for 3 straight nights.
Exactly. The Brewers are on a hell of a heater right now. They've been good the past couple of years. You're building the fan base back up. If they want to have fun and they're not hurting anybody in the process, what does it matter? Let these guys have fun. Let them do what they want. Let's be honest here. We are in 2026. To go to a game is not that cheap anymore. These guys are spending their hard earned money to go to a game, probably pay for overpriced food and overpriced beer. And if
It's
they're
not
not
even cold.
causing that's what I'm saying. If they're not causing issues, why not let them have fun. And listen, this whole tarps off thing, like, you'd be damned if you ever catch me doing something like that. But you know what? I'm here for it. Let the fans have fun. I'm not going up there taking my shirt off, waving my shirt. That's just not me. My social anxiety is way too much for that. But if these guys want to do it and they're not hurting anybody, what does it matter? Especially for a club who is playing at the level that the Brewers are. Their fans are into it right now, man. Let them have fun. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. All right. Final thing, and then we'll get out of here. Our teams, of course, the weekly update. Kyle, you can go first with your Yankees because Gerrit Cole is back.
Yeah.
And so you have the floor.
Yeah. So Gerrit Cole came back. That was huge. That was big time in the making. I mean, Game 5 of the 2024 World Series was the last time we saw Gerrit Cole.
I remember that.
So it
That
was
was a lot of
nice.
fun.
Yeah, I bet you do. You son of a bitch. I knew it was coming. But anyway, I'll give it to you. Gerrit Cole against the Rays on May 22nd. Hey, listen, we're talking about the Rays a lot. The Rays are nothing to scoff at this year. They are on a absolute heater right now. Um, they look good, man. They look good. The Rays are 34-16. So Gerrit Cole making his first start. Now, listen. Also, I also want to preface and say that he was supposed to make another rehab start. So going into this, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I don't think it's the right time. Gerrit Cole did not look good in rehab starts that he had made, and he was supposed to make another one. So for those reasons, and going up against Tampa Bay, I was like, this is going to be tough. And we don't know what we were going to see out of Gerrit Cole. And listen, Gerrit Cole's getting up there in age. I believe he's 35. We're kind of passing the torch. We've seen Max Fried come in. We've seen Cam Schlittler make his mark on the game. So I was like, I don't know what we're going to see. Are we going to see a shell of his former self? Well, I'll tell you what we saw. We saw 6 innings of two hit ball, zero earned runs, three walks, and two strikeouts. He got it done, man. He got it done, and he looked good doing it. I think the first couple of innings that he was out there, he had to ease into it. He had to get back in. There was an inning there that he got into some trouble with some walks. I believe it was first and second, no outs, but he got out of it, man. And that's such a breath of fresh air. Not only because ever since we signed Gerrit Cole back in 2019, I was ecstatic. I fell in love with his game immediately. I loved the type of pitcher he was in Houston, and I hated that he played for Houston. And then he came over, and excuse me, I fell in love with him and his game immediately. And it sucked to see him go down with TJ, and then he came back finally and he looked good, man. He really did. So I'm hoping. Now, I don't know if my expectations are going to be too high for him this season because he is coming back from TJ, and I don't know how it's going to, translate over. But overall, I like what I saw. He looked sharp out there, and I'm hoping with a little bit more time, he can solidify himself into a huge starter into this rotation again. And who knows, man? If he continues to stack starts like this up, and Max Fried comes back, we're gonna have a hell of a a 1, 2, 3 punch with Cole, Fried, and Schlittler there at the top of that rotation. And then obviously too, Clark Schmidt is somewhere, rehabbing. He's still there, and we still have Carlos Rodon who can hopefully figure it out, and Will Warren who's starting the game for the Yankees today. He's looked good, man, this year, and who knows, maybe he'll be that 4 or 5 in that rotation, and then obviously if everything goes well and the Yankees don't absolutely shit the bed and they make the postseason, we'll have a really good rotation there come October, which I'm going to be super excited about. That is something that the Yankees have been missing over the last few years, is a solidified 1, 2, 3 starters in a rotation. We had the 1, 2 punch, we've had the ace. We've never had the 1, 2, 3 in the recent years. And the fact that we might have that this year, I feel could get the Yankees through the American League um, postseason this year, which is something that I'm really excited for. So hopefully Gerrit Cole can start to, stack these kind of starts up. We have Cam Schlittler there, and we also have Max Free coming back from injury. So hopefully everything goes well. So on the pitching front, I'm excited, man. I'm happy. I have a lot to look forward to. This lineup though, this is where I get into my Yankees recap. This lineup is fucking abysmal, dude. I don't know how much more of this I can take. You know, this lineup cannot seem to score at all. I don't know what happened in there. Austin Wells is still trying to figure it out. The guys at the top of the lineup aren't hitting as much anymore. Trent Grisham still hasn't come around. Aaron Judge, he went through a really bad 13 game stretch where I think he was only batting 150 with no homers. That's not his game, man. That's not how he's going to find success. Cody Bellinger has been the one who has kind of carried the load for the New York Yankees the last couple of days. So glad to see him still there. But Jazz, he's kind of slow. He's had flashes, but overall, this lineup just can't hit, man. I don't know what's going on. Yesterday, though, I'm going to go into their kind of stretch here. They went 3-3 in the last week against Toronto and Tampa Bay. It's not great, but it's not it's not great, but it's not bad. It's pretty much right there in the middle. 3-3. I was expecting more, obviously. Toronto's been down on their luck. We talked about them in the beginning of this podcast. You should have took 3 out of 4. Instead, you split the series. If it wasn't for the rain makeup on Saturday, you would have played another game against Tampa Bay. But you split the series against Tampa Bay 1-1. And yesterday, hey, you got a walk-off homer by Aaron Judge. Hopefully that kind of kickstarts the rest of this lineup and Aaron Judge. Now looking forward, they start it's either a 3 or a 4, but I believe it's a 3-game set against the Kansas City Royals. The Yankees have had their number over the Royals over the last few seasons. Let's continue. Let's go in there. Let's win this series. Aaron Judge, he's building off of that walk-off homer, and the rest of this lineup, maybe he can get him behind him. So I'm looking forward to the series coming up, and overall, Yankees got to play better, man. They do. I can't keep seeing these 3-3s on a road trip against your rivals. You got to win. You got to win out. You got to win this series. So, yeah, just stack more series wins on top of each other and start playing well against teams over 500, please. The Yankees have been. I mean, it's no secret that the Yankees don't do well against teams over 500. Well, once October hits, you're going to have to. So, yeah, let's just turn that around. But overall, I guess I can't say too much. The pitching staff I'm really excited for, and the lineup just needs to start hitting. So that is my weekly recap of the New York Yankees.
And now to my Dodgers. No complaints whatsoever. Very, very impressive road trip. Like I mentioned to you at the beginning of this episode, this was their first long road trip of the season. Now, thankfully, this first long road trip outside of Milwaukee, they did not have to go far at all. They went to Anaheim, which is down the 5 freeway, and then they went to San Diego, and then they hopped on a flight to go to Milwaukee for 3 nights, and then they came back, and then they're back here today beginning their homestand. But 7-2 on their 9-game road trip. Very impressive. After losing Friday night to Milwaukee, Justin Robleski had his worst start of his season, which that was going to happen. I think things are starting to kind of even itself out a little bit. Robleski was so good to start the season with the Dodgers, having an ERA under 1, starting to balance itself out a little bit, but still. Robleski's still a guy I want in that rotation. He's clearly not afraid. He's clearly shows no fear, and he's attacking hitters, which is what I love. Very, very impressive. They took 2 out of 3 from San Diego. Yes, they lost the first game. I don't know. Ever since Yamamoto put on that Dodger uniform, this guy gets no run support most of the time. It's amazing. And he had every right, and this is what type of a person Yamamoto is, and I know most players wouldn't do this, but they lost the first game in San Diego Monday night, and he only gave up 1 run, and he went 7 innings, and he only gave up one run, but Michael King only gave up 0, didn't give up any runs, and they won the game 1-0. They were asking Yamamoto, how do you think you performed tonight, pretty much? And he was like, not good enough. Like, I gave up one run, which ended up costing us. It's like, Jesus, like, you went 7 innings and you only gave up one run. Like, it's okay. Like, it's, you didn't pitch horrible, but for some reason, this guy gets no run support. And to me, that's what cost him a Cy Young award last year, was that he got no run support. So, yeah, he would give up two runs or less, but then the Dodgers would lose the game 2-1, 2-0, 3-1, stuff like that. But thankfully, he got run support yesterday too. Shout out that big fifth inning by the Dodgers. Andy Paul has a 2-run home run, and other guys contributing as well. Yeah, I got no complaints. Dodgers did what they were supposed to do this week. Took a series in San Diego, took a series in Milwaukee, especially after dropping that first one. Completely rolled them over the next 2 nights. And I want to shout out this Dodger bullpen, man. The Dogs from 2024 are back, and it feels very similar to that. They have pitched 38 scoreless innings so far, and they're not that far away from the record. The record is 45 2/3 of an inning set by the Tigers of 1962. The Dodgers are closely getting to that mark, and hopefully they can do it. And they have the team to do it against the Rockies, honestly. Like, if there's a team, like, they have kind of this runway here where they could do it, but and it's not like, too, like, it would be one thing if it was like, oh yeah, like, big deal, like the starters are going 7-8 innings and then the bullpen just has to get one clean. Wasn't always the case like that. Even though they had lost Friday, Robleski was only able to give them like 4 innings because they had a high pitch count as well, and then the bullpen was able to get it the rest of the way through. Roki Sasaki on Saturday, again, only went 5 innings. The bullpen was able to shut it down the rest of the 4 innings. So, very impressive. Shout out to everybody, especially because there's no Edwin Diaz because, of course, due to injury. But Alex Vesio, Will Klein, trying to think, Blake Trinan, Tanner Scott, and I'm glad I remembered him because I was going to mention this today. A lot of Dodger fans, including myself, dumped on him pretty much every chance we could last season. Well, this year, he has completely turned it around, and he is living up to the contract that the Dodgers gave him last offseason. He has an ERA of 1.25. Very impressive. He has a whip under 1, 25 strikeouts. I am so glad that he has figured it out, because last year was so frustrating. Remember, Tanner Scott, the Dodgers paid him all this money so he can be on that postseason roster, be one of those guys to come out of the bullpen. He didn't even make the team. That's how bad it was last year. But one of the brightest spots, Tanner Scott having a tremendous 2026 season, and I love it. And another person that I want to mention here, Kyle Tucker. I don't know if you know this, but I do, because every time he's at home at Dodger Stadium, he does absolutely nothing. And then the minute he puts on those gray pants, puts on that gray jersey, we hit the road, he's tremendous. He looks like the player that the Dodgers gave 60 million. I have the stats to back it up for you as well. So, I have the splits here. Shout out ESPN. At home this season, you want to know what his average is? It's 207. You want to know what his average is on the road? He's hitting 290. That's... Can I see a little bit of a balance? His OPS, there's his on base plus slug, 663 at home. On the road, 856. Can I see a little bit more of a balance here? Like, he does. It's amazing. Like, he does nothing at home. Then we hits the road and he turns into Barry Bonds. It's incredible. He had a big triple too that sparked that inning in the 5th inning yesterday against Milwaukee to help the Dodgers win. So hopefully we can see a little bit of a balance there. And lastly, Mookie Betts. What's going on? I'm a little concerned. Ever since he's come back from the injured list, he's been hitting the ball hard. But other than that, it's been a lot of weak contact, and I think he only has one home run since he came back. I'm not worried about him. He's a big-time player. As long as he can perform well in October, that's all I care about. But I just got to see a little bit more out of Mookie Betts. Just a little bit. He's playing tremendous defense. And a lot of Dodger fans are saying that's why his bat has completely disappeared. It's kind of, ever since he moved to shortstop, he's kind of had a down offensive season the last 2 years. But hey, man, you can't stay young forever. Mookie Betts is definitely getting old, but if he can give me a good month in October, that's all I care about. But need to see just a little bit more. And the other thing too that's so weird is, like, Dave Roberts has not been hesitant to move everybody else outside of Shohei from the lineup. I think he was batting as low as 7th, I think, at one point this year. Will Smith was batting like 6th or 7th this year. Teoscar's been batting 8th at some points in this year. But for some reason, Mookie Betts is slotted in that 2-hole every single night. Now, I get it. With the type of lineup they have, you have Shohei a lefty, Freddie a lefty, Kyle Tucker a lefty. You can't just stack 3 lefties in a row like that. But just need to see a little bit more out of Mookie Betts. Other than that, I've got no complaints. 7-2 on this 9-game road trip. Dodgers return home. They're playing some good ball. And keep it up. Keep it up, and everybody just stay healthy. That's pretty much all I got and all I can say. And Shohei Ohtani, slowly starting to get it. He is slowly starting to figure it out. He had a tremendous series against the Angels last weekend. He had a decent series against the Padres. Pitched extremely well again, giving up only, I think he didn't give up any runs. I think he gave up 1. But he's slowly starting to figure it out. And if he can figure it out, man, look out. Because this team, it's hard to beat this team right now with Shohei playing average. But imagine if he gets back to his MVP level again. Unbeatable. But no complaints. Dodgers, please sweep this series to the Rockies. You are better than them. There is no reason why you should be losing 2 out of 3. Win this series or sweep it. Now let's get ready for the Phillies this weekend. I'm very excited to see that. See how the Dodgers stack up against this Philly team, because obviously the Phillies have been playing a lot better recently, and I want to see how they look. Because I still think the Phillies are going to be a good team this year. But there you go. There's my Dodgers.
Absolutely.
All right, well, unless you got anything else, I think that's going to do it.
I think that's it, man.
Another week of baseball in the books. Everybody stay safe, stay well. We'll see you back here in a week. Adios.